Welcome to Architecture Summit 2025. My name is Arnela, and I'm Program Architect here at Authority Partners. This topic today we will present you with how AI agents are accelerating everyday business. Yay! And this topic will also be presented by Amra, Gjorgji, and Eldin, all fellow architects here at Authority Partners. Okay, so I can take it from here. Yes. Have you ever walked into your office, opened up your laptop, and you're greeted with a wave of tidal emails? You have meetings to review, you have unread notes, you have some reports to skim, and all that. In my opinion, it's the Scrum process. Like every day I need to log my hours. We need to keep the sprint progress tracking. We need to see if we're on schedule or off schedule and all those things. So I just wish sometimes, like, can't we just have something like some digital assistant that would do this for me, right? But I'm not talking about digital assistant that would answer trivia for me. I'm talking about co-worker, actually, digital co-worker that would actually get the work done for me. And that's what I want to show you in a small video here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so this is the video. So you see, I'm asking, can you get me some items, product backlog items, story points, user stories, however you call them? And could you just update my hours, like log my hours? Sure. And something that I needed to go to Azure DevOps, Jira, or whatever, I need to find the sprint, I need to find my items, I need to open the task, I need to log hours. This is just in a few seconds, right? So today we will cover what AI agents are, how they work. We will see some examples in the real world in action. We will see the demo. And in the end, we will see how to get started. Smart and simple. Okay, so these are not just my challenges. These are common shared concerns across all the companies, all industries, all roles, right? So let's take a look at a few pain points. Too many manual and repetitive tasks, whether it's data entry, copying the data, entering data for the report, and similar. Tools and teams don't communicate efficiently. So I'm sure it happened to each one of you that basically you pull the report from Outlook or read an email or Azure DevOps, like one platform tells you one thing and another platform tells you another thing because they're disconnected. Poor decision-making from scattered or stale data. So you need to make some decision, like high-stakes decision, and you're seeing the data from the previous week. Not good, right? Time lost waiting for approvals or chasing updates. You're waiting for someone to approve something, and the great opportunity slips by. And all that leads to productivity drops despite everyone being busy. Have you heard like your employees saying like, I'm working so hard, but in the end, all that results in low value work, unfortunately, because team can't focus on the right things. You see, these are not tech issues. This is not tech. This is business issues. Okay, so where does AI come into this story? Just 2 years ago or so, like the word on everyone's lips was chatbots. I'm sure you asked Siri or Google Alexa to do something for you, to set alarm or set the timer, or you ask ChatGPT to write a feedback for you. Well, those are reactive helpful tools called AI assistants. They are waiting for our input. They execute a single task and they wait. But the world kept moving. So did we. You didn't need just a helpful assistant, right? You needed a partner. And that's where AI agent is coming into this story. So AI agents are autonomous systems or softwares that understand the goals. They're not asking you, what do I need to do? What do I need to do, right? They act on behalf of you. They're your partners. They're your inmates. They're making decisions and act independently. Okay, let me give you a quick analogy in soccer, for example. So if imagine AI is players' ability, speed, vision, and so on. AI assistant is your coach telling you, hey, pass the ball, call for a timeout, right? So what's an AI agent? An AI agent is your star midfield player that reads the vision, makes smart decisions on when to pass the ball, whom to pass the ball, and score the goal, and all in real time. Okay, so the shift is clear, right? Assistants help when asked, while agents act without waiting. So now that we have cleared that up, let's talk about what actually makes AI agents so powerful when embedded into your systems. Let's bring it all together. So AI agents are intelligent systems that perceive what's happening, they reason through it, they plan what to do, and they act independently. Why that does matter? They think for themselves, they automate across the workflows. So something that used to take days to be implemented or done, now it's in seconds. They boost team productivity. Don't worry, no coffee breaks or no need to increase the headcount. Like it's 24-hour support and it's automated. Basically, it's now the shift that the team can focus on the real strategic goals instead of just copying the data, right? And your decisions are basically in real-time data. So don't worry, you won't be in the situation where you will look at the data from the last quarter, right? And because no tool works in isolation, they actually bridge the disconnected tools. So whether you're working with Azure DevOps, Jira, Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, wherever your data comes from. So you have it all now centralized and under the same ecosystem. So it's not just one more application to manage, right? And this is why many companies around the globe are embedding these systems into their business workflows. It's not all about automating everything, right? It's about amplifying your people and unleashing your businesses. And currently, there are more than 1 billion agents running in the world. We've talked about the pain and we've seen the promise. Let's now get under the hood and see how they really work and how they're structured.
Yeah, great. Now, as we know now, what are AI agents? Let's try and break down the agentic loop. So basically, this is a universal process that fits in every use case, from some complex enterprise use case to some simpler one. Let's take a simple one like weather assistance, and let's go through the stages. So the first one is perceive. So basically, that's where the AI agents received some input from the environment. It could be in a form of a user query, some sensors, triggers, or stuff like that. So let's take an example like asking some AI agent, what's the weather like in Paris tomorrow? Then what would happen? Actually, the AI agent would try to understand the input that the user provided, to understand the context. So it's asking me for Paris for tomorrow. Then it tries to make some plan based on the capabilities it has to understand what are the steps that needs to be done in order to achieve the goal. And then it's making a decision, which actually it's something where he understood what are the tools that it's going to use and stuff like that to then come to the act stage where actually it executes those tools that are selected in the previous decision done, and then it provides an appropriate output to the user. On top of that, it has a stage where it learns. What that means, actually, based on the feedback of the user. For instance, I could say that if it's rain, remind me to bring an umbrella. So that's how the AI agent learns. And then in the next iteration, basically, it would try to help you out with that and remind you that you need to bring an umbrella if the forecast is that it would rain. So let's see now what's under the hood, or actually the architecture of the AI agent. As we can see on the image here, so the core or the brain is the LLM. And on top of that, of course, there should be some kind of a trigger that we mentioned, which could be some input from the user via query or any sensors or anything, which makes LLM start thinking. And it actually behaves based on the instructions or the DNA that is defined for the LLM or the AI agent, which basically defines its behavior or personality. But LLM is smart but passive. In order to fulfill the goal, actually it needs some tools that could help him produce the output. The tools are basically some external APIs. It could be some files, plugins, or anything that would help the LLM to achieve the goal. On top of that, there is a memory that could be session-based or long-term, where basically it keeps the previous conversations, the feedbacks, and everything, so that it could produce a better outcome next time. Let's see some common design patterns, agentic design patterns. So the first one is the deterministic chain. So we could see this one as some kind of a script or to-do list where it has some kind of fixed sequence and predefined steps. So there are no really dynamic decision making in this kind of design pattern. And it's ideal actually for some predictable or low variance tasks. For instance, we could have we were talking about Scrum. So we could have some kind of daily stand-up assistant that would help us with the daily stand-ups. It has some predefined steps. It needs to ask every team member, like, what you did yesterday, what you're going to do tomorrow. Are there any impediments and stuff like that? And based on that, the next step could be generating some report, and then it could also share those reports on some tools like Teams, Slack, and stuff like that, using the tools that are capabilities of the agent. Another design pattern, common one, it's a single agent system. That's basically a single agent that handles all the tasks, all responsibilities. It actually goes through the stages that we previously mentioned by itself, and it's good for some focused tasks or assistance like use case. Here, an example is, for instance, again, if we are talking about Scrum, that could be like some assistance that is helping you out with certain ceremonies, like it could handle the planning for you, and also it could produce some reports. On top of that, it could post some messages on Teams and stuff like that, which brings us to a bit more complex design pattern, which is something common for some more complex workflows. And that's the multi-agent system, which has a different multiple agent, as the name is saying, which are doing each of the stages separately. They can work independently. They can work in parallel. So For instance, in the Scrum, let's say one of the worker could do the planning part, the other one could, for instance, collect some notes from the meetings, the other one can reschedule the meetings and stuff like that. So yeah, we were talking about the AI agents, but how you can implement them in the real world. So there are multiple tools, platforms that can help us with that. And there are some kind of groups here that we are going to talk. We have the low-code tools like OpenAI's GPTs. You're probably aware of that one, and that's actually pretty fast to build an AI agent for yourself. We are going to talk in more details about some of these tools and platforms that we are seeing here on the next slides. However, if you need some better developer control, then you could use some of the open frameworks that we can see here. But if you want to build some enterprise solution here, then you could go with some of the enterprise-ready platforms that we can see listed here. As I mentioned, we are going to talk about them in a bit more details on the next slides. Just wanted to mention here that in order to develop an AI agent, you don't really need a specific user interface because you can also embed them in the tools that you are most probably using every day, like Slack, MS Teams, and stuff like that. So the first group that I mentioned, the low code, basically, that means that you don't really need to have a coding skills here. All you need to do is by using some human language, you can create your own agent on OpenAI, which is under the My GPT sections. So what you need to do is describing the personality and the behavior of your assistant. And then based on that, it would generate some initial configuration for you, which would define the behavior of the agent. It would generate some instructions, which are the DNA that we already mentioned. But on top of that, you can always fine-tune that. You can go to the configuration section and modify the instructions if you want to add something additionally. Also, conversation starters, it's something that appears as an examples for prompts for your agent. You can extend the knowledge, but providing some files or something like that. You can also extend the capabilities. We have by default already something selected, but you can also have some code interpreters enabled to use it. And of course, there would be some tools, or how they're calling actions, where you could basically provide the OpenAI specification, which would help then the agent to interact better and to provide better results. So here, as we can see on the image, basically when you're setting up your agent, it provides you a preview option where you can test the agent, and then once you're sure that you define everything you need for your agent, you can create it. But of course, there are limitations in these kind of tools. So you have a bit of a limited collaboration control here. You cannot really control the roles and stuff like that. You're just sharing the agent with the other colleagues within your organizations, and they can just use it and do some prompts. There is a limited observability and logging here, so you cannot really implement some additional logging if you want for tracking for better traceability. There is no really a release lifecycle or versioning, so it's being handled by the platform itself. And as you can imagine, it's not really ideal for some more secure enterprise deployments here. And that's why I already mentioned the enterprise-ready platforms that we are going to talk about on the next slide.
Okay, so let's talk now about how Microsoft is making AI more powerful and more accessible for the enterprise organizations. So we've seen now the tools like custom GPTs that helps you build fast and personalized AI experiences. And Azure AI Foundry basically builds on that idea, but with enterprise needs in focus. It is complete ecosystem, complete flat platform that helps organization build, test, and scale AI solutions efficiently and securely. So you already seen probably AI Azure Foundry in action if you use some of Microsoft Copilot. So basically, all of those copilots were built with this technology. So it's really exciting. That now it's accessible for all of us to experiment and create great AI solutions. So let's see what makes this platform so valuable. So it speeds up the development. So you can go from prototype to production in just in short period, right? It's great that it's not only for tech users, so non-technical users like business side of the teams can build agents as well through the portal. But there's still SDK available for developers for full control and customization. Second, these agents can connect to your data that you are already using. So data on SharePoint, your local file that you can go ahead and upload, databases and similar, which gives the agents more context to your business, to your business, right? Even though that we are within Azure, you do have the access to different models. Currently, there are around 2,000, so different in size, different in their use. So depending on your use case, on your budget, you can choose whatever fits for you. And what is important here, it is designed, so it's enterprise ready from the day one. So it coexists, let's say, with your current security, current governance and monitoring tools, assuming you are in Azure, of course. So, so this is not just a development tool, right? It's a full platform that powers organization to create AI solutions quickly, securely, and at scale. So before we dive deeper into what an agent is within Azure Foundry, let's reiterate and go once more, what is an AI agent? So at its core, it's a smart assistant powered by generative AI that can understand your instructions. So it can understand natural language, right? It can interact with the external systems, and it can respond intelligently using knowledge or data that you provided and the tools that you are assigned. And as we mentioned, there are two ways that we can build an agent within Azure Foundry. That would be through portal for quick prototyping for non-technical users, and then access to the SDK for the full control and development. So basically, there are this on the slide here. It's kind of agent development lifecycle. So first step would be to identify what is your business problem, what is you try to resolve, and use the platform to map the context and see the opportunities. Then go ahead and build that agent. Define workflows, assigned tools, plug your data, and basically tailor your prompts for maybe special instructions and similar. And then once deployed, the work is not done. So you should monitor performance and gather feedback, and then analyze that in order to potentially swap models or to add additional complexities to your agent, or even to do some additional fine tuning. So now we can see actually how we can build an agent prototype, of course, in Foundry in just a couple of minutes. So apologies for the resolution here, but I will try to guide you through it. So first thing would be to assign the model, so the brain of the agent. Next thing is to put the instructions. So we learned that the instructions are giving the agents instructions how to interact with users. If there are some specific tone or anything that we would like to guide our agent how to behave, we would put here. Now we can assign tools. In Foundry, there are a couple of options like open API schemas. So for connecting to some external APIs, you can use Azure functions, or there's the option for code interpreters as well. So now here I've added so model instruction, and I added two files. One file is like a patient record, and other file is information about the insurances. And the simple ask here is can patient A get a dental checkup? So basically at this stage, and you get answer immediately, right? And at this stage, this agent is RAG, like it's just retrieving the knowledge that was provided from us. But imagine next steps. So for example, integration with the back office of dental office, then you wouldn't ask, can patient ABC have a dental checkup? You would say, please schedule first available appointment for the patient A. So to wrap up on Foundry, so why it's great. So it's good for both developers and non-technical users who wants to prototype fast and basically have the enterprise-ready solutions immediately. So you don't need to think about additional security if it's in your if it's already set up in your tenant. So let's now look at the alternatives. So while Azure AI Agent Service delivers enterprise-grade automation and management, then if your use case is a bit more complex, if your use case is a multi-agent workflows that you need to handle, if your use case requires that you have full access and control on the memory and the state, then maybe open source frameworks like LangGraph would be a good thing to consider. Comparing to the Azure, LangGraph is code-driven from ground up. It is designed for building smarter and a bit more complex agent workflows. So let's see what sets apart LangGraph comparing to some maybe other options. So this stateful workflows. So agent can remember and update context across steps, loops, and branches. So for example, imagine your agent is reading some document. It can notice some missing parts. It can look back to the human, ask for some information, then come back and recheck everything. So this is especially interesting and valuable option when it comes to some critical business decision that needs to happen, that we would need really human approval, not only agent to execute throughout the flow. So this is one thing. Other thing, open ecosystem, this is kind of by default, I would say, since this is an open source framework. Of course, you can integrate any LLM. Then tools, you can really connect to any custom tool. Basically, programmatically, you can do whatever you need to do. And multi-agent support, so you can, it's kind of excels in that multi-agent environment. So you can coordinate teams of agent, all of them having own logic, own memory, but they are working together towards the same goal, and they are sharing. They are going through that goal and share the information they gathered. Okay. So let's see now how LangGraph is structuring those intelligent workflows. So at its core, there is this node-based design. So it uses node and edges model, where each node represents a step in a workflow, be it calling a model function or maybe some condition that is happening there, where edges are basically defining how the transition will be done from one node to another. This can be a very simple transition, but as well, it can be maybe more complex one. For example, when it comes, the example that I mentioned, where we need human intervention. So for example, if we are not confident enough with a model response, then its flow can be branched out to the human to kind of confirm or reject whatever the agent is doing. The persistent state, so the state is maintained throughout the execution flow. Imagine like a big whiteboard where all of the agents have the access to, they can write into it, and as well they can read from there. And this dynamic non-linear execution is where because of that multi-agent complexities or support where it shines is basically that. So you can run a couple of agents independently, all the while they are persisting the state. They are working towards the same goal, and then you have you can have the job done shorter, of course. So or the time needed for the slowest one. So LangGraph is kind of, and you can see here on the right side of the screen, when I mentioned it's code-driven from ground up. So comparing to Azure Foundry, where we just had like a couple of clicks and had working agent, here is the same example, like patient records and then insurance, but here is around 150 plus lines of code, because you need to do everything alone, like define those tools, read those documents, and similar. Of course, probably it can be optimized, but just a comparison that this part is more code heavy than comparing to Azure. To conclude about LangGraph, so it is great for building more complex workflows. For me, I look at it like traditional software where you can do some, you can program your logic, but this is powered by intelligence of the LLMs, which makes it really, really powerful. So, and now, so we saw Azure as an enterprise solution. This LangGraph is open source now. We'll go through one platform that was actually built in Authority Partners. It's Accelerator platform, and here you go.
Thank you. So finally, let me introduce you to SnapGPT. It's, as Amra mentioned, a platform accelerator built by our Authority Partners team. And what it means, it's platform accelerator. Basically, it's a foundation that includes some of the core building blocks found in the most AI-powered applications. We created it to save time, avoid repetitive setup work, and get results and benefits to client faster. It's designed to help teams to more quickly build and manage AI agents and to work with your systems and data using natural language. The goal is simple, to make complex tasks easier and help your team turn data into insights faster. Here are some of the key business benefits. Security is a core part of SnapGPT. Your data stays protected and you stay in control. It works with your security setup and not around it. It comes with simple admin interface that it makes it easy to manage your AI agents without needing deep technical skills. Here on this GIF, you can see basically how that admin interface looks like and how you can add the agent, add data adapters, and so on. It includes ready-to-use parts for connecting to service and data, so you don't have to build everything from scratch. And it solves some of the most common problems up front, like handling conversations, managing prompts, and organizing workflows. So your team doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. What are the core features of SnapGPT? Conversational intelligent. It means it remembers context during conversation, so it feels more natural when you're talking to it. Prompt and workflow management means it can take user input and figure out what actions to take. Data integration adapters means that it can connect to common tools like Outlook, SharePoint, YouTube, and it can also work with custom data if needed. Service integration adapters mean it's flexible. You can plug it into other systems or services easily using standard connections. The whole platform is basically designed to work alongside your code and your application, and it can be deployed together with your own code. In short, why we built SnapGPT? We built it to give us a head start. It's developer accelerator, it's simple to use, it's secure, and it's customizable. By thinking ahead and packing what basically every LLM-powered based solution needs, it helps your team move faster, it avoids setup headaches, and focus on building value from day one. And like while Azure and OpenAI only released their agent platforms this year, we built SnapGPT like two years ago, which gave us like significant experience in that field and readiness. Considering all mentioned, SnapGPT was our tool of choice to build our Scrum Assistant agent that Arnela showed you in the beginning, and we will show you more later in the demo. Okay, now that you saw some of the AI agents in the wild, let's compare them. When you're choosing an AI agent, it's like picking a right kind of performer for your event. And each one basically fits a different purpose. When we're talking about OpenAI custom GPTs, think it like it's a solo singer who performs your lyrics. It's fast to set up. You give it a script, maybe a few tools, and it starts working like in a minute. It's perfect for small tasks like personal assistants or support bots, but there's a limit. It can't handle complex tasks or multiple steps. It performs like only one song at a time and always in the same style. When you're talking about Azure AI agents, it's like hiring a band. You tell them the vibe, is it like jazz, rock, classical, turbo folk, you know, and they take care of the rest. This option basically works well for enterprises. It integrates with Microsoft tools like Teams and Power Platform. You get more flexibility and planning logic, and like the band can play a whole setlist and respond to the audience. But it takes a bit more time to set up compared to custom GPTs, and takes a bit more planning. And pricing depends on how big your venue is. In this case, like Azure resources. And finally, LangGraph is like conducting full orchestra. You write score, assign each instrument, and control every beat. This is like for advanced use cases, like when you want to multiple agents working together, you want to handle memory, logic, and custom tools. It gives you like the most control and creativity, but you need a tech-savvy team because you host and manage everything yourself. To conclude, if you need like something quick and simple, you can go with OpenAI custom GPTs. If you want something that's enterprise ready with Microsoft integrations, Azure AI agents are good to go. And if you like need full control and complex workflows, then LangGraph is basically gives you power to do and orchestrate everything. Seeing like all previous slides, you may be thinking about implementing this, but you're not sure where to begin. So let's like talk how can you implement like AI agents in your own organization. There are three main approaches. You can like build from scratch, it's fully custom. You can choose open source option with custom integration, or you can choose fully managed commercial platforms. Each one of these have like different trade-offs in cost, flexibility, and how quickly you see the value from it. You can think it like building a house. You can choose like to build everything from scratch, fully customize it per your need. You can choose like a modular house with support, or you can move like in already completed and fully managed apartment. If you choose build from scratch option, so this is like most hands-on option. You design and build the AI agent exactly the way you want and fully aligned with your processes. The biggest advantage is control. You decide how it works, how it scales, and where it runs. But it also comes with highest upfront cost, upfront investment, and you'll need like skilled developers, your own infrastructure, and the plan for long-term maintenance and security. If you already have like strong internal team and stable needs, this can pay off actually in time, since you are not paying for vendor fees or subscriptions, maintaining your own stack, but it's not like fastest path to value. When you're talking about open source with custom integration, like this model combines open source with custom development. It offers a lot of flexibility and significantly lower licensing cost. You get like access to wide ecosystem of tools, but you are responsible for putting those pieces together and also to keep everything secure and to maintain it. For some of these products, you can buy commercial support, which helps like reduce the burden. So this is like good model, like good middle ground between control and cost efficiency. It's especially useful if you want customization, but you don't want like to build everything from scratch. And finally, fully managed commercial platforms. This is like plug and play option. Commercial platform gives you like fast setup, vendor support, building compliance, and scalable infrastructure. But the trade-off obviously is a cost. While upfront expenses are low, you will pay like ongoing subscriptions and usage fees, which can grow over time depending on your needs and team size. And you're also limited like in terms of flexibility. You need to like work with vendors' constraints, features, and roadmaps. However, for many teams, this option because of the speed, convenience, and peace of mind is worth it, especially like when you need to move quickly and you don't have like deep technical resources. No matter which platform you choose, there are some kind of platform-wide considerations that are important no matter what option you choose. So, like, can your solution scale easily? Is it secure and compliant with your industry needs? Can it integrate smoothly with your existing tools like CRM, email, and automation systems? And of course, you need to always look upfront cost, like total cost of ownership that includes ongoing support, scaling, and the ability to adapt over time. So the best implementation model depends on your team, your timeline, and your long-term strategy. Some teams value control and are ready to invest, and others need like speed and simplicity. There's no one size fits all. It's about like finding the right balance between flexibility, cost, and time to value. And now we are going to show you the demo of the agent we mentioned and we built. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so we've gone through the AI agent's definition. We saw its components. We saw how they work. We also some options that you might implement or take. And let's see now the demo of the application that we built. It's hands-on product that we built for as our Scrum Assistant. we did a little bit of research. It should decrease time spent on these repetitive tasks, like at least 25%. So let's see. I hope you see the screen, but I'm going to walk you through anyway. So here, as a starting point, you see the conversation is clear. So as we go, it will learn. Like next time I ask it, it will already know like what I'm asking, like ChatGPT, right? So I'm asking it, give me a list of the items that are in the current sprint. It already knows what's the current sprint, predefined, configured, and assigned to me. So it lists all the items, as you can see. And then after that, I asked, like, could you also give me some details about my items? Besides that, it's not about tasking only, right? So we're creating a new PBI without tasks. That PBI doesn't have estimation. We first need to create tasks to put some initial effort, initial hours, remaining effort, completed hours, and so on, to be able to track the sprint progress, basically. So here, I'm asking it to add in these hours, basically, to these tasks. And as you can see, it created them. I'm asking now, can you give me, is there like another concern that we might having, like if someone didn't assign an item to a team member, or if they didn't estimate at all. So we're covering that part as well here. So I'm asking it, like, first time, can you get non-assigned items from the sprint? And it's giving me this PBI that I just created and assigned to me, right? So next time I'll ask it, okay, I do have some items, so please assign them to me, put the hours. And as you can, I'm not sure if you can see, but I'm setting remaining plus completed to be more than I initially estimated. Why is that important? It's important because we'll be off schedule, right? So we will have red alerts, indicators that we won't be able to deliver on time. Also, we're asking it here, like, what is my capacity? Why is that important? It's important because if my team has 8 hours per day, and I'm adding an additional item that could be having remaining work more than the sum of those, it should alert me as well. So are you really sure that you want to add this task to your sprint? You see, so it's here it's proactive, so it doesn't even let me add some. Yeah, of course, I can confirm that I want what I asked, but it will do the prompt. So we can define any type of prompts that you want. So, or if you want to assign some item to the team member that's within the organization, but it's not within your team, you can tell it just, Rihad Shaheret is not in your team. So are you sure that you want to assign this to Rihad? Okay, so besides getting the capacity and setting the capacity, as you can see here, I'm also getting the sprint progress. What does it mean? It's the completion percentage in the sprint. It takes into account completed work, remaining work, and then it says, okay, what's the status? Is it done? Is it in the sprint? And why not, right? So for the first run, it asked me, like, it gave me a wrong answer. Like it told me, like, it's 0%. So I was like, why is it 0%? Shame on me. No, actually, I didn't set to done my tasks, so and my items, so it couldn't calculate properly. But now that I said, could you complete my items? It should give me the right answer. And let's see the answer that we're getting here. Can you calculate sprint progress? And it should say it's, can you set the item to completed? Okay. I'm going a little bit fast, but it should give me the right percentage now. So imagine, like, Scrum Master every day going to the task details, tracking if we're off schedule, communicating with people like all the time, okay, why didn't you estimate your task? Like here, I can just ask, like, give me all non-estimated tasks, so I can know like who to go to, right? Okay, so now it returned 20% the completion percentage, and also I asked for average velocity. You know, you probably know that that's important for the sprint planning, but that's not all. What are the next steps? So no, this is not the full product, of course. It's just a demo application, a starting application of what we can do. So let's see what becomes next besides the logging. We need smarter decision making. Instead of just asking it to pull the list of the items and to update the items, I also want it to react immediately if we see that we're over the capacity or if we're off schedule and similar. Then imagine insights at your fingerprints. So instead of asking someone why the sprint failed, like why asking persons, if you have an agent that would go analyze the data, analyze the bottleneck, do the breakthroughs, and tell you, okay, this is the health score of your sprint. We're also exploring deeper automation. So like if it happens that in the sprint you have the items that you haven't been able to complete in that sprint, let's do auto rollover. So why would we do that manually, like every single sprint, right? So and also nudge me proactively. So our PMs will be really happy if every time that we were off schedule, even for an hour, they get a notification that we're off schedule. Okay, and of course the tools, as I mentioned, like maybe you would ask, like, we can do all these things probably in Azure DevOps. Yes, you can. Slower, plus you wouldn't have an integrated system. So Outlook, Power BI, Azure DevOps, or any other external tool, wiki pages. You're building everything, like everything that you can imagine. You can just say, this belongs to my agent. I define the input, and that's it. It's now integrated. Finally, every team is different, so it needs to adapt to your system. It's not like we build a tool, it works only for our team. No, it's not true. So it should adapt to every single team, and it will learn even your communication style. Okay. So now, before we wrap up, I would like to shift the spotlight to you. And during this session, you probably imagined or pictured in your head, like, what are the daily tasks or moments that you see or notice during the day that are annoying but important, and that you can embed AI agents, right? So let's give you a few tips. Start small. The most important thing. Start small with minimal risks. You won't have AI like fully embedded into your system from the day one, for sure. So after that, if you see that your team is spending too much time on copy data, analyzing some things or similar, help them out. This is perfect use case for that. I mean, it's perfect to have AI agents instead of that. Industry use cases. Maybe you had a situation that you want to add a new client, and the onboarding of the client takes so long. So this is also a perfect use case. Or support agent that does the ticket summarization, or OCR, like scraping your documents, or project status reporting from DevOps without even having someone to manually do it. So run a short pilot. Give it to the users, let them test, measure the time saved, and you will see that it paid off, really, and then scale bit by bit. Before we close, it's not the question if you want or if you will have an agent collaborator. It's the question when, how soon. And the earlier you start, the sooner you will see the benefits. And I'll leave you with this. What's holding you back? And what are your main concerns? And that would open up the discussion. Thank you very much.